VSG almost killed me. So let me tell you what happened. Wednesday was surgery day, and I was so hyped. Everything was going as planned. My surgery time was pushed back. The original time was for 9:30. Then it was pushed back to 11. Then it was pushed back to 12:30. Then it was pushed back to 1:30. So 1:30, 2 o'clock came. It was showtime. I went in. About maybe 45 minutes later, I was done. They called my husband. They said she did great. I had about 2 hours of recovery time. Came out. Everything was good. First day was perfect. Then the next day, which was Thursday, I was up. I was drinking my fluids, drinking my water, having lemonade, Jello, all that stuff, getting it down. Surprisingly, I was scared, but I was getting it down. I had to ambulate. They always tell you to start walking and, get that gas pain out and stuff. So I did that. And I was like, I'm A1. I'm good. I felt great. Later that Thursday, they discharged me and I went home. I was feeling perfectly fine. Went home. My husband picked up my medication from the pharmacy. I had my pills, the pill planner, I'm trying to think, the organizer, the day and night organizer. I got it from Dollar Tree. I fixed that up so that he had less things to worry about. Yeah, that was the nighttime. So I had to take a blood thinner. And then like around 10 p.m. I went to bed. Around 5 a.m. I woke up to like really bad gas pain, or what I thought it was gas pain. So at 5 a.m. I began to walk. So as I was walking, I had like shoulder pain, like really bad shoulder pain. And I'm just like, okay, I was exhausted, but I needed to walk. So for around 5:18, I started walking around the house, making my rounds, making my laps. And then at 7 a.m., my husband woke up and joined me. He was like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm having a lot of pain. I just need to walk. He's like, okay, let's walk. So he got our slippers. We walked in the backyard. We walked to the living room. We have a pretty big apartment. As time continued, it was like 7:30 at this point. I was tired. I was like, you know what, babe? I need to just sit down. So I sat on the edge of the bed. And I'm like, no, let me use the bathroom first before I lay down, so I won't have to get back up. And right when I was about to stand up, I got super dizzy. And I'm like, babe, I feel so dizzy right now. And I passed out. I have never passed out before, so I didn't even know that was coming. So he jumped up when I said that, and he said, I don't remember. He said I fell to my knees, and he caught my head. So he was down for a few seconds. He got me back up. He was like, you with me? I was like, I'm with you. He got me back onto the bed. So I laid back down, and then I was laying down, and I would get this rush of just hot and then clammy, and then I'll pass out again. So hot, clammy, nauseous, passed out again. He's like, do you want to go to the hospital? I'm like, no, I think I'm okay. He's like, okay. And then I said, listen, call my surgeon and tell him what's going on. So he was calling the surgeon. No one was answering. He was like, oh my gosh, if this continues, I'm going to call 911. I said, okay. I was in and out. So he started taking my pulse ox, checking my heart rate and all that stuff just to see where I was at. He was like, my oxygen was like in the 80s. So he knew it was time to call 911. So, when the ambulance arrived, I was still able to talk to them in between passing out. And it was just like, what's going on with you today? How are you feeling? And I'm just like, automatically, I'm good. So they're like, oh, what's going on? So I told them. And then they was like, okay, cool. So they're like, we're going to get you onto. So at this point, they was like, we got to get you onto the stretcher, but we have to get you down the driveway first. So they sat me in the chair, and it was like, just keep your hands in at all times. We got you. If you start trying to grab stuff, that's when we don't have control. So I kept my hands in. I was just so out of it. And thankfully, I went to sleep in like a dress type of thing. So I was covered, but I didn't even have shoes on. I had no time for it. So we get inside of the ambulance, and the sensations happen again. I got hot. They had a blanket on me. I threw the blanket off. I felt clammy, nauseous, went out. So when I woke back up, the EMT was like, next time you feel like that, let me know it's coming. I said, I did. I told you. I'm hot, I'm clammy, and I go out. So she was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I yell out the sensations that I'm feeling. So she said, now that you passed out, you are not stable enough for us to take you to the original hospital where you got the surgery. You have to go to your local hospital. The local hospital is the hospital I work at. So I was like, oh God. So I was like, okay, cool. Not that they're not good. It's just, come in. So yeah, I was saying, my hospital is really good that I work at, of course. It's just that I work there. So I was just like, weird to go there. But they was like, we're going to take you there first. So they called me and they let them know I was coming. When I arrived, I was still just in and out, passing out. So when they did my vitals was like in the 50s. It was scary. So I remember one of the surgeons at the hospital. One of the surgeons at the hospital works closely with my surgeon. And they decided, because of the constant passing out, they needed to find out what was happening. So they ordered the labs, and then they said, we're gonna send you to CAT scan to see what's going on. I said, okay, cool. I'm trying not to cry, but just talking about it. So they did the labs, and they was like, all right, we gotta get you to CT after they did my labs. So they took me to the labs. They was like, all right, we need you to drink this contrast dye. I could not drink that stuff, but I tried. They said, we need you to drink this contrast dye so it could show up in your CT scan. I said, okay, cool. I took one sip and I automatically was vomiting. It was the first time vomiting with my new stomach. So I was like, no, I can't drink this. So I didn't. They was like, it's fine. We'll do it without it. We'll give you something else for it. So they proceeded with the CT scan. So they did the CT scan, and then they sent me back to the room where my husband waited for me. So shortly after, they came back and it was like, okay, we got the results from the CT, and you are bleeding internally. You are hemorrhaging in your stomach. We don't know where it's coming from, but you're hemorrhaging. So it was a good picture on what was going on with me. So shortly after, they was like, okay, we're gonna have to get you back to that hospital. But I wasn't stable enough to transport in an ambulance. So they had to life star me, And that just means that a helicopter and the EMTs had to come and get me in the helicopter and take me from my hospital. They had to take me in from my hospital to the next hospital, which was a 15-minute helicopter ride to save my life. So they came. They was really great. It was so sweet. When they got me, it was like, okay, they hooked me up to everything. They kept me very relaxed, very calm. And I told my husband, all right, meet me at the hospital, babe. You get going now because I'm going to get there before you. So he drove to the hospital, which was about a 50-minute ride. And somehow, I don't know, we got there around the same time. For me, time was not regular time. So when I got in the helicopter, they're like, do you want some blood products to help you? Because, you know, you lost a lot of blood. And I said, okay. I said, you know, I have 2 kids at home and a husband. Let me get back home to them. So if this is going to help, I'll take it. So that was the first time getting some platelets. Never had to get that in my life. And then, so I don't know if I blacked out again, but when we arrived, when I opened my eyes again, we was landing. And they rushed me off the helicopter. And I was just hearing talk about, we're going to take her straight to the OR. But first they was like, no, we're going to go to the emergency department so that I could see my husband before I went to the OR. So we did that. We went to the emergency department. I had my cell phone. I was speaking to my husband. And, you know, I had to fill out paperwork. And when I was filling out the paperwork and reviewing the risk and things like that, it made me break down. I completely started crying like a baby. So my husband was like 4 minutes away. My surgeon was like, okay, I'm going to go meet him at the front door so he don't have to get lost and he could get straight to you. Said, okay. So he came. He gave me some kisses. He said, you know, we got here just in time, my love. So don't worry. Like, everything's going to be fine. It was what I needed to hear. He said, your mom is on her way and we're here waiting for you. So, you know, come back. I said, okay. So he kissed me and then wheeled me off to the OR. And then my surgeon came in. He was all out of breath. He ran, you know, to the where I was at, to the OR. And he was like, you know, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I'm bleeding. He was like, we're going to comb through everything and see where it's going on and where's this bleeding coming from. I said, okay. And all I remember is the other surgeon, it was 2 of them. The other surgeon was holding my hand until I went under because I told them I'm scared. And I was scared because I never had surgery before any of this. Never in my life. So for a second, I did regret getting the surgery. But at the same time, I know the reason why I decided to get it. So I was like, you know, I did this so I can have extra years on this earth. And I said, God, I'm not done yet. So bring me back. So today is Sunday. They had to, of course, put like a breathing tube in me, so my lip is swollen and everything. That's fine, but I'm here. My levels are coming back up. I'm not normal yet, but I will heal. I am stable now, and I'm here for a reason. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. I know I'm a mess. I know I'm all over the place. And I was kind of going back and forth like, should I make this video? But this is just the side of weight loss surgery that you may not see. So, do I regret getting the surgery? No. But if I would have known all this was going to happen, would I have gotten it still? No. But I'm okay now. Now it's time to just heal and move forward. So, like, comment, subscribe. If you are considering vertical gastric sleeve surgery. And I'll catch you guys on the next update.